Welcome to the final half of this interesting little case of who killed Cook Maggie, or a recipe for turnabout in this case. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the final showdown with the faces of the dragon and tiger. So with that, let's go from the chapter start, shall we? January 8th, 1:21 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godo picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
You think Mr. Armstrong was lying?
I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need.
Hey, pal!
Detective Gumshoe!
What are you so jumping about, Detective? Your hair's steaming over in.
Hey, that's a pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot.
It's not a top knot!
Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright?
I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I gotta get wound up.
No kidding.
You gotta have something to do. You need me to do, pal, or anything.
Well,
Hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour.
an hour. The trial will have reconvened by then.
But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour?
You bet.
In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me?
Just smell butter.
If you're so mind, s'il vous plaît. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this?
Oh, hey, that's the small ball I gave back to you this morning, right?
Yeah, I think it's time we solve the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to.
Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too.
So we give the bottle back to Gumshoe.
Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Make sure you don't lose the case before I get back.
This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
True that, little dear. True that. January 8th, 1:56 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godo, did you find this Furio Tigre? 10. I even tamed it for you. It's a 3-cup chop, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on! He's pretty lively. Be careful, still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness, please state your name and the...
Shit! Ah!
Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there's room for me down there, too. What you like? What you said to me? Who could have guessed fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of. You hear me? So who the hell called me in this hole? Was it you, Sparky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? I see the problem I've had. Don't let me just carry on with the proceedings at all. That's it, word out. Maybe you didn't hear me! I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that holds you in. Oh, cool. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mouse boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Barrett? Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas.
Oh, of course, well, you can also just be dead. Please tell us what you did as a day later.
Felix Wright. You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying?
I should have brought a taper with me today.
The tiger's alibi. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to bar cash from Tenderland every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask me later. Oh, that's what happened, man. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination. Hey.
What is your favorite show? Do you like that?
I know the kind of game that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no stinking lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Well, lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000! And you's gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you get tangled with a tiger. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute! That's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side, and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You better be listening. Said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now,
I ain't gonna catch my bus.
The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can do it!
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya?
The tiger's alibi. Hold it! Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cavaderini?
She writes everything in my schedule. December mainly in the office. That's what it says. So that's where I was.
That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder, so now what? We press harder. Mr. Tiger!
What do you want?
If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
Objection!
This is a dead end, Wright, and you know it. Remember the rules. No! It's essential that we establish the witness alibi accurately.
I agree!
The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too?
Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats want to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young cat before.
I do believe the witness statement was important. Mr. Goodall, if you could please.
Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony.
Don't let that old bitch you be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself!
The days you talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before.
Well, something to me says differently. Something to me says you were.
And something to me says you were there.
Someone says you were meeting with the tiger. And you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, objection! Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. Dated December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder! So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elk. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him!
Not bad. You was actually not bad.
Sigh.
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad.
That's one compliment I could do with her. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
You was calling me a liar? Is that what you doing?
Oh!
So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that. The truth.
Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. Then That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre.
Oh, yes, would you mind indulging the court witness?
He never actually met the victim. That's got to be a lie right there. It's time I nail this guy. The victim, Glenelg.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glenelg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up the meeting with the guy at my office, tender lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't ever been through that Trabian joint. You see?
I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right.
The victim, Glenelg. Well, this is gonna be pretty short. 2, 3, 4, 5. You never been to Trabian? Bull to the shit! You know why? Trabian matches used for advertising found lying in Tenderland. Objection! Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you talking about?
We found them in your office at Tenderlender. They're from that restaurant. If you've really never been to Trabian before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You've been stumbling around in my stuff too! Let's go! What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me!
Order, order! Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you?
Sorry.
I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
But is it good? Alright. I might have been there, but I still never met the kid.
Well, looks like an order just came for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenelg that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. At Trabian.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I had to come sirens on my way out, so I went straight back to my office.
And boy, I'm gonna be having one hell of a drink when I'm done with this. I see. So you didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it! I wait any I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
No problem. Well, anytime Wright presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Gozo, that's my job!
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it!
Yes, sir!
The special express ain't cheap, right? So you's know since you's paying.
Oh, man. Does the rule of law mean anything around here? Oh boy. At time we go to statement number 3. And press that. Hold it! You mean you saw Glenn Elk's dead body?
I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some ragged bit of cloth he called a hat.
And what time was this?
I don't know.
Huh?
You know what winds me up more than
Let me read that again.
You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches. Round watches. I ain't gonna pollute my pose with some ticking henpecker.
Out of interest, Mr. Tigray, what winds you up the second most?
Huh? What'd you say? Square watches!
Is this guy for real?
Look, all I need to know was that something bad was going down in that place.
Well, let's switch over to it's gotta be here because I have it. There it is. Objection! You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigray?
No one escapes the tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix clutches! I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Wright? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigray? From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's feet.
Isn't that what I just said? I just saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the interest of Travian, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him!
Objection!
Wrong! Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That'll do. This trial's gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was the real killer? Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You will say the killer murdered Glenn Elk and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Okay. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre! No one else could have done it. What? A witness?
Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is the king of the jungle, so I dare you to say it again! Come on! You got the guts!
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tiger! Use the defense, go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright! Mr. Wright!
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. Use the guts. I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone! Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Kudo! 13. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no.
The servant girl brought him just a Jalapeno, but she put something in it. And no question about it, she very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Godo! Waiting for my absence to launch your attack! Found your pen at last, Wright? That was my pocket! But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright. I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Baird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Well, none other than Viola Cavarini. Take that! Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cavarini. She's an employee of Tenderlender.
You's making a big mistake. Do you know who my little grandfather is? You better be going home in armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick.
Well, where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has said the following.
Well, when I took the coffee to the victim's table, it turned out there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had a kind of cackling laugh.
And no, it was not that chick from Nadeshiko. No, it was not her. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There is only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. One for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, was you! Witness, what have you got to say?
That's cute.
Sorry.
You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get to me mating now. But I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about.
He's got it all wrapped up nice, alright. But just missed out on one real important thing.
But that can't be.
I was in Detroit that day and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned it, you see.
What? What do you expect us to believe now, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? 15! Looks like we're going to need another one for the room.
One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
He's on his 15. Then there's a 16. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Trebian between yourself and the victim? Tell us to the victim.
Yeah, I loaned El Cash about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won! Hallelujah box! He got lucky, you know. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she had done, everything would have been over.
And now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. L was $50,000.
Yeah, well, he's got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice its principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He's got $500,000 just in time. So I ain't had no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no reason, you ain't got no case.
It's motive. He has to have one, but what is it? As the victim. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it! The waitress, you mean?
The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten away, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little on this. How things would have been? What do you mean things would have been over and done with?
Are you all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 bucks back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger's motive,
I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy.
Are you saying you had no other motives that day?
Yeah, so what?
Then why didn't you take the lottery ticket when you left?
Why do you think? Because of 4 eyes over there?
Because of Maggie.
How about you go ask 4 eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad. She poisoned Elk's coffee.
A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre.
Objection!
Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene right.
The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I sent down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split.
I see. Your Honor, the witness' last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like to have Are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended? I'm leaving it. I better leave it at that and try to figure something out. Thank you, Your Honor, but there's no need to amend the testimony. Very well. Continue with your cross-examination then.
So the tiger was meeting Glenn Elk to get his money back. And meteorologist had given him the lottery ticket. That would have been the end of it.
Yeah, so what's the tiger's motive? This is the big one. If I don't manage to undermine this testimony, it's all over for us. Why would he have to poison Mr. Elk? And why did he loan him the money in the first place, when he knew he couldn't repay him? Well, I got something to show you, sir. Computer virus made by Glenn Elk, potentially worth millions of dollars. Objection! So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elk owed you, correct?
I I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elk, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were after.
Objection!
What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber! A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? Oh, God. I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important part. A virus like MC Bomber would be several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million! Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You're trying to suggest that when his motive was to get hold of the program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Wright. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided he had time. But what if he needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share with us? Why did Mr. Tigray need money for the tune of $1 million? I'll tell you why as I'm scrolling through everything else. Take that! In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery.
Where'd you get all that info?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year, and was paid in full. $1 million! Preposterous sum! Someone should sue these HMOs! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigray had no choice but to pay. Because his very life depended on it! Order! You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cavadorini. Did you say Cavadorini? Bruto Cavadorini, my boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, otherwise known as Viola Cavarini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to inquire the $1 million Cavarini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glenn Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't. Neither can I.
The lottery win.
Exactly! At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way.
I put Splenda in your coffee.
So he resorted to illegitimate means.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glenelg, and then he made his next move. To frame Maggie Bird in that sexy little pose for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenelg, while Viola Cavarini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard yesterday. We all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Couto.
Objection!
Like I said, Wright, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept out of it.
But Mr. Armstrong knew all about it! Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godell? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
You've put on a good show, Spiky. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid created a witness and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shit. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
What?
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out! What? Another one, Mr. Wright?
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Wright?
What was this trick, you say, Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? Take that! What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, didn't you just pose as the victim on the day in question? A month ago in this very court, you posed as me! What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Yeah, all you need to do is just, just change that into a blue suit. There you go. And just add a little badge On the lapel. There you go. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I've ever seen!
Objection!
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, right?
Have you no pride, sir?
Objection!
16. This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, right here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godo is right. Your Honor? Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now, however. I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down the verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it.
No!
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far!
You should say he personated Glenn L. You say he personated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge.
You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the tiger, or you gonna get mauled. You got that?
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Looks like I will be needing a refill.
If I just had one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook.
This witness cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre.
Hold it!
Your Honor, sir.
Wait! Detective! Detective Gumshoe!
Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. Well, what is it, Detective?
Isn't it obvious, pal? This is the final decisive piece of evidence!
What? January 8th, 2:48 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab.
The results?
About the prints, pal, from this blessed bottle.
Also, do you know who the prince belongs to now?
Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So it does! Any target, right? I knew it!
You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. They're Furio's Tigre's paw prints, alright.
That's great! We got him now, Nick! What's wrong with you? You've always said it works since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's late every day offline for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now.
Huh? What? Why not?
What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elk's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now.
I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This was our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time! It's alright! I'm a real loser. It's not breaking this to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! You've been working hard on something for me?
Sorry, I'll let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. You know, I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry! Now get out of here now!
Detective Gumshoe, wait!
He's gone.
Is there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. She worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. And we got the small bottle back. And now to finish this. January 8th, 3:04 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. 16! Guess that was 15, and 15 it was again. Now it's 16! Don't keep us all in suspense, Trent. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
And Phoenix, don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more my time on you's gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But you's lawyers shouldn't know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he got me beat, he'll let his guard down for a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. The victim's ear missing, covered in Furio Tigre's prints. Furio Tigre's fingerprints. Oh, here you go. Take that! This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor. Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre! What?! But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains. Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically... Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. Damn whisper.
My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
Phony trial, phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains potassium cyanide. This is the bottle containing the potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide! The poison used to murder Mr. O, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle! And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
You'd make a good clown, you know that?
What?
You ain't never gonna get this to stick. You just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger?
A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix, right? That ain't a bottle with the cyanide in it.
No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in.
Don't mess with the tiger, or you gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown. It was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
What the fuck? Shit a brick.
Got him.
At last.
What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle.
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Dude, that cozy looking suit fool, you people. That was just playing games. Tell him go though. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out?
Don't you realize what you just said?
What I said? What I just said?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know who you messing with? I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure. The last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you. The biggest phony of all! Hello? I'm still gonna get some points for that one. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. What the fuck? done, Wright. Magic! I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. 17. Savor it while you watch your cage pray. Oh, Lordy. Right, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Ryu, you know the rest, man. I'm not gonna say it, you know the rest. The prosecution will be sure to take care of Mr. Tigre, won't you, Mr. Godo? He is being arrested on suspicion of murder of Glen Elk, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godo. Well, I'm now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty! That is all. Got adjourned! January 4:10 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1, and I'm gonna be pissed if all that work I did just didn't get on there. Anyway, moving on.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. There's some man with Mr. Wright landing me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him.
Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Detective Gumshoe. Oh. Guess I'll be off then. See you, pal. But wait!
Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony, then?
Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busts his butt for you. Just thanks to him that we caught the medication bottle. That wasn't even in use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, maybe Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this.
I'm worried to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
I got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. And that present just happens to be Where is it? Oh, there it is. That one present happens to be Gumshoe's lunchbox. Tenderly handmade lunchbox fills the stomach with love and plenty of weenies. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love.
Said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies. You know.
Damn! I'm sorry. I just had weenies for breakfast. I'm sorry. I had to fart. I'm sorry. That was not a stomach wherever. No.
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now? So how's it, Maggie? It's really good.
So the case of the phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. And thus ends the third chapter, Recipe for Turnabout. And coming up next will be Turnabout Beginnings. So with that, I'm going to stop here. And with that, I am going to save. And with that, I'm going to call it quits for this time out here. Thank you for watching. I hope you have been enjoying the series. And next time, we shall take on some very, very dark history. So, with that, that will do it for this time out in this Let's Play. Join me next time for more courtroom drama and build-ups in Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. I have been the Tenkaichi of Gaming PI7, and I hope you have been enjoying the series. Until then, take care and see you next time.